Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that have never watched a video of mine before, I'm Meffan, so I'm a yoga teacher, but I'm also a blogger and YouTuber, and today we're going to chat about alcohol. So for those of you that have only ever done my yoga flows before, I like to keep my yoga flows for a Sunday, and then I like to bring you as many other videos as possible, just so you guys, I guess, can get to know me and I can share my passions, my downfalls, my everything, the highs and the lows from life, the things I'm loving and the things maybe I'm not loving. The title of this video, titled 2 Years Sober, probably makes it sound a lot more like, oh my gosh, she had a problem, than it is, although actually I would like to touch upon the fact that maybe I did have a problem. So some of you will have seen a video I did over a year ago now, where I spoke about being teetotal, where I spoke about the fact that I don't drink at all. And now it's been just over 2 years of no alcohol, and I wanted to go back and revisit a few of the points I made because so many of you found that video useful. And then I also want to talk about, I guess, things that I have since learned about maybe why I was drinking. To give you a bit of a background, I never had what would be called a drinking problem. I wasn't an alcoholic, I didn't drink at home ever. I only drank when I went out with friends, but it was binge drinking, and at times it was probably binge drinking to excess, where maybe it would be a Thursday, Friday and Saturday night getting drunk, but then I could happily go for 2-3 weeks of not getting drunk. But what I have since worked on is a lot of self-study, a lot of stuff about me and my past and the kind of person I was back then, and a lot of the things that I was, I guess, trying to mask with alcohol. So going on nights out, I maybe didn't feel very confident, didn't feel very, in love with myself. So the alcohol would give me the confidence that I needed. Now I know that that sounds quite obvious. I think a lot of us probably have a drink for confidence. But actually now when I think about it, like, it was really bad. Like, why should I have to mask who I really am? And just have alcohol to fit in, and that's what it came down to, fitting in. So for me, alcohol wasn't something that I was like, oh, I just really fancy it. It was like, I need it in order to kind of get through the night and be the party cat that everybody was kind of expecting of me. And it was totally something I did to myself back then. It wasn't like I was getting loads of peer pressure. It was purely so I could like chat to my friends, chat to guys, that sort of thing. And it's only now that I realize how much I was using alcohol as a confidence boost and as a way of masking how I really felt about myself. Now, I am very aware that there are a lot of people out there that genuinely enjoy the taste of alcohol, and that is why they drink it, and they can happily just have a glass of wine or whatever it is that they really like, and that be it. I have never liked the taste of alcohol. That's kind of how it is, and in many ways that makes it very easy for me to be sober. It makes it very easy for me to not drink alcohol, because I have never had it where I was like, oh, I really fancy that cocktail or that vodka or that gin. It was just like, oh, I really need it just so I can either chill out or be the party person or what have you. So I decided to step away from it. At first, I stepped away from alcohol. I was only drinking Prosecco, obviously. Prosecco or champagne, of course, why not? But I would only drink the Prosecco or the champagne at certain occasions. So it might be a birthday, it might be just because I fancied it one month. It wasn't something that I was having all the time. So I went from this stage of like lots of binge drinking to then only drinking maybe once a month, something like that, when there was a special occasion, but getting so drunk. And I've always struggled with hangovers. And I don't enjoy a hangover. Who does? I feel like I waste a day. I feel like my body is in a bit of a breakdown. It's full of toxins, full of sugar, full of all the things that I don't want to be there, and I end up wasting a day of just being sluggish and not getting on with life. So like I say, easy for me because I don't particularly enjoy the taste. But these are all things to look at and question why you are drinking. If you really enjoy the taste, then go, spread your wings, drink the alcohol. But if you don't and you're kind of on the verge of thinking maybe I will quit, I will say now that not drinking at all is so much easier than drinking at little different events. I found it a lot harder when I was in that interim period, and people would be like, oh, why aren't you drinking tonight? You drank last week. And it kind of just never was, Kat doesn't drink. It was like, oh, she drinks a bit, so we'll keep offering it. Whereas now, it's been 2 years, I haven't had any alcohol at all. I am wonderful. It's a weird thing to say. I feel wonderful. I go to weddings and events and stuff, and I party on the dance floor as hard, or if not harder when it comes to dancing, than a lot of people, to the point that some people sometimes think I'm on drugs. I am not. And I just live it. I can live in that moment, and I can just be really, really happy and excitable on a sparkling water, because I have learned that it's not about what the other people are seeing around me and that judgment. It's all about just how I feel, and if there's an awesome song that comes on and I want to dance, then I'll dance. On the flip side, if I just want to stay chilling out, sitting down, chatting to people, then I'll do that, and I won't feel like I need to be on top form, as a lot of people might think. On my last video, the question about going out came up so much, about like, you know, how do you deal with it when everyone's drinking around you? To be honest, I actually get non-drunk hangovers. So I don't actually feel like, I mean, obviously there's some people that are so wasted that I'm like, whoa, that person's drunk. But with my friends, I'm so in the moment, I'm so in the zone. Like recently at a friend's wedding, I was just dancing like a crazy woman, and I didn't even notice that everyone else was particularly drunk, because I probably looked drunk too. But I do get a sort of semi-hangover, and it's like a tiredness hangover. So I've like partied hard, I maybe go to bed at 1 a.m. or something, and then I wake up the next day and I'm like, whoa. And then if I think about how I feel on no alcohol, I'm like, gosh, what was I doing to my body before when I was drinking so much alcohol and then still not getting that sleep? Just to clarify, I am not a party animal these days. I just turned the big 3-0, and I'm not, you know, settling down into granny life, but I do thoroughly enjoy a film, a cup of tea, maybe a game of Scrabble. It's my kind of party. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, I am happy doing those things, and then when there's an occasion, I will go out and enjoy said occasion. One of the other things that I wanted to touch upon was hosting a party when you don't drink. So this was actually something, I don't really host parties, but for my 30th I hosted a barbecue, like a daytime thing. It was really odd in a way, buying all this alcohol for everybody else to drink, and knowing that Rob and I, because Rob doesn't drink either, we wouldn't touch it. But again, it just didn't bother me at all. Like, I don't begrudge anybody if they want to have a drink, so I will happily provide it for others. And if people are going to come to my house and they want to enjoy a bottle of wine, then I will provide a bottle of wine. But it was interesting just to kind of like be in my house and have all this alcohol, which we've got so much left over. I don't really know what to do with it. I'm going to be taking like Prosecco and crates of beer to birthdays for the next few years. But it was just really nice and normal. And yeah, sure, it can, you know, every now and again you're like, oh, I'm spending all this money on the alcohol that I'm not going to drink. But that's just so that your friends can have a great time. And who doesn't want their friends to have a great time and not feel like they have to stand there and be sober just because I am? So we've touched upon the emotional pain and maybe masking something that's really going on. And I would urge people to really look into that side of things. The next time that you are maybe at home or out with your friends, and ask yourself, do I really fancy the taste of this because it tastes good? Or do I really, really just want that, and not have to kind of think about anything that's really going on? I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those things, but I just think when it maybe is happening quite a lot, then we need to ask the questions. People often ask me if I will ever drink ever again. No, I genuinely don't think I will. I have no desire for alcohol, unless I invent something that's really tasty, but I feel like there are so many drinks that are very tasty and that are not alcoholic, so I don't need anything to have alcohol in it. That makes sense. I don't need that crap. So for the sugar and the rubbish that goes into alcohol, I'd rather have a chocolate cake. That's how I tend to look at it. Everyone else can drink and I'll have the pudding. But it's something to really think about. It's something very important to me. It's nothing to be ashamed of if you don't drink. You're not uncool because you don't drink. you're just doing you and you're testing it out. And on my last video, a lot of people were saying, oh, they might try it for a while. And I urge people to do that and do it for like 2 or 3 months. No drinking, and just notice the effects it has on your body, your moods, your tiredness, and see how you get on. So 2 years down and many more years of being sober to come. Obviously, yes, it helps that Rob doesn't drink as well, but that wasn't something we decided together. I actually stopped drinking about 6 months before Rob did. He was still having the odd drink. And yeah, sure, it makes it a bit easier, but if your partner or whoever you're living with is supportive, then they'll support you in whatever your decision is, and they will, help you through it. So if you have any questions, please do comment below. Hopefully you guys found this interesting. It's a bit of a more personal insight into my life. And how I choose to live my life, and just remember that your life is how you choose to use it. I'm merely just suggesting things and telling you what I'm doing, but ultimately it comes down to your decisions, and if you want to make changes, you're the only one that can make them. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I will be back on Sunday with a yoga flow, and then back next Wednesday with maybe an activewear haul, maybe a chat, who knows. Thank you for watching, bye bye.